السادة المشاهدين، مشاهدي قناة المشهد الإعلامي عبر اليوتيوب، هذا اللقاء التالي سيكون مع دكتور جامع موسى جامع، وهو من أرض الصومال، من منطقة أو من مدينة هيرجيسيا التي تشهد حاليا معرض الكتاب. وطبعا ملفت جدا أن نتعرف عن قرب عن هذه المدينة، عن هذا البلد، عن التطور التقني الكبير الذي تشهده، عن الاهتمام الكبير أيضا بعالم الكتب، وعن الجسور الثقافية التي يودون أن يمدوها باتجاه الوطن العربي. أسئلة كثيرة أخرى سألناها لدكتور جامع موسى جامع. تابعوا هذا اللقاء. أهلا بكم.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure finally to have Al-Mashhad Al-Alami channel here in Somaliland, talk about Somaliland and talk about the Hagis International Book Fair. This country is a multilingual language. I personally have sometimes to choose which language to communicate because of my first language, of course, mother tongue is Somali. My second language is Arabic because of the country. My third language that I was being educated is Italian, but it's still my fourth language, which is in English, is the one that is somehow connecting to all of them. So I prefer to answer to your questions in English. So I hope that's okay with you. Somaliland, here we are in a country that you have seen how peaceful it is, how the people of Somaliland like and would love, mainly for the young people, for reading and writing culture. Society that has been described as an oral society, but that moving from the oral culture to the written culture, a society where the art and culture and heritage is the fundamentals as any other society, but a country that 30 years of struggle tried to rise from the ashes and then come to such a beautiful country. As you know, definitely the history tells us that Somaliland struggled to have its independence back in 1991 when, of course, after the struggle and the destruction under the dictatorship, where the entire city, for instance, Hargeisa, has been completely destroyed. And if you see today, and definitely you have seen at the city center, you don't notice all those destructions, which means in 30 years we build back this country physically, and we build back much better because of Hargeisa is a booming city today, as the capital of the Republic of Somaliland. It's economic, financial, and business booming center. Now, I want to connect your question exactly on that we succeeded to build back a beautiful country. But at the end of the day, the war and the destruction has also affected almost 3 generations of young Somalilanders that has been affected directly or indirectly by the war. And why we shouldn't think to build back also the people. Unfortunately, we didn't have a moment for healing, for collective healing for the society. And the art and culture is the best medium to heal the society, to reconnect the society. And as I said in some other places, you know, when you are coming from such a difficult situation, a post-conflict society, and then you have already meager resources that you need really to manage and see how to use those resources, you start with the security. And in fact, Hargeisa, Somaliland is safe country, but it is not coming for free. So we spend a huge amount of our income for stability, for security, for maintenance, to have a better place for the young generations. And then you start with the roads, with the hospitals, and all the infrastructure that you need. Then when you come to the art and culture, you finish with everything that you have. So what happened? And when you remove art and culture, identity, heritage, you remove from your state building what makes the human being humane. So you lose the humanity. That is why the Hargeisa Cultural Center, the Hargeisa International Book Fair, the Berbera Cultural Center, and any other institutions who are working art and culture is thinking that we need to include our state building and for the young generation mainly the art and culture to heal ourselves from what happening, to give an identity to these young people, to give an existence of where they can be proud of their past in order to go forward and build their own future. So it's extremely fundamental to have this place, physical space. Of course, the human being needs space, and the spaces are something so crucial. Not only physical space, but you need your spiritual space. You need your space within spaces within the family, within the society, on the individual space. So these spaces can be built only through art and culture and identities. I'm repeating the word identities because of unfortunately many young people in the African society are lost. They are traveling to go to Europe. They are inspired by going to the Western because of what the image of the media are giving. Then they are living without having any background, any identity that they can identify with themselves. So they are lost. So we want to give back this identity to the young Somalilanders. One last point before I conclude is, of course, Somaliland is also an African country. You know, we have so many boxes to put in our society. We are Somalilanders, but we are Somali people living in Somaliland. But we are also linked to the Arab world for the fact that we have to consider ourselves as Arabs. But we are Africans who live in Africa, so we have another identity of being African. That's why that you have seen in each year we have a guest country that is an African. This year we have Morocco, and it's a real pleasure to have an Arab African country where Arabic language is a fundamental, Arabic literature is a fundamental, Arabic poetry is important, Arabic thaqafa is so important. Usually people confuse when you talk Arab literature with the Islamic or religious books because of they are written in Arabic. No, we have the rich culture that are connection between Africa and Gulf countries, but also between African Arab countries, where the literature and the thaqafa is the fundamentals for the society. So we need to bridge that. That's why the book fair is all about to give an opportunity to intergenerational connection between the young Somalilanders and all poets, all generation of artists who unfortunately because of age, because of the natural move, probably are passing away. So we want to protect that past to give to the young people of today in a way that they can build their future with that identity they are feeling so proud of it. One last point is having such an important channel who can speak to the entire Arab world, who can speak entire Arab speaking, whether they are Arabic African Arab countries or whether they are Arab in the Asia or in the Gulf countries. Speaking to through this channel gives me not only the opportunity but the great pleasure to tell the entire Arab speaking world to give back this connection that we lost. Somaliland is, was, and remains the gate to Africa. We have, we have the port that is connecting to the rest of the Arab world. So this channel will compass this good information to the rest of the world.
The next question is about the conference parallel with the book fair. There is different issues to talk about during the conference. Every day there is 4 or 5 sessions, different knowledge.
Yes, because of, frankly speaking, when I say that, for example, last year we had almost 11 people who attended the Hargeisa International Book Fair in 6 days. Everyone was surprised. How on earth a book launch, a book fair can attract that people. The reality is that the book is a core center of what we are doing. But surrounding the book, we have all celebration of forms of art, from traditional dance, poetry, music, all those paintings, sculpture, all those expression of art is surrounding the book. So that's why attract people. But most importantly, this is a place where we talk about major issues. This year we have a theme, and the theme was resilience. And each year, as you see, we had from wisdom, I'm just reading coexistence, connectivity, spaces, imagination, journey. All those were huge themes of each year has one theme. And this year we were talking about resilience. But the fact strangely happening is that the academic attraction that we had, as you have said, in every day there are 6 or 7 panels of discussion talking about the effects of climate change, for instance, on the society. We are coming from a nomadic society, and if the climate change in the Western curtains is just for theory and something that we have to sort of think, here is a reality. It's happening. It's affecting. So we discussed about what's happening, what impact it has in every aspect of our life, the climate change. We discussed how this also affects through drought refugees. We knew that people were refugees because of war, because of displacement, but now we have another form of refugee where many people who were in the nomadic area are pushed back to the cities, and they are becoming forced urbanization. So we discussed the planning of the cities. We discussed about the expansion of the cities. We discussed about job and employment for the young people. We discussed all those issues that has direct impact to the life of the people. So it's a big conference, as you said. Sometimes I call congress rather than conference because of the so different themes that we are discussing. Today, for instance, we will be talking for the entire impact of the young generation. So how young people can react on climate change. Yesterday we discussed how the African writers can talk about the issue that we are talking about. How can they inform the African societies through literature? So each day we have a big area that we focus. So we focused about, for example, the issue of women being part of the decision making of our society. And someone say, what has to do with book fair? That it has to do because of this is a place where we discuss the major issue that are concerning our society.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming to us and telling the world what is happening in Somaliland.